Let me just say this. To fear the Lord is to reflect on his love for you, his compassion for you, how far he's brought you. He's protected you from enemies that are seen and unseen enemies. He provides for you. And so when you reflect on what he has done for you and how he loved you, and then knowing how often we are as human beings, and yet he has great compassion for us. And when you can reflect on that, it causes you to have a great appreciation for it. And that's what it means to fear God. It has nothing to do with your emotions. It has nothing to do with your appreciation for what he has done and is doing for you. Just think about it. You're able to get in your car and drive from one distance to another without being killed. That's God taking care of you. He's keeping things from happening that you don't even see or know about. You know, so that's how you fear him, when you reflect. That's why it's good to have that quiet time so you can reflect on what he's doing for you. And that's what fear of the Lord is. Isn't that simple? But the mind tell you it's about fear, it's about emotions, it's about that, and it's not true. So you shouldn't believe anything that your mind tell you about God. It's not about your thoughts or anything. It's about reflecting on where when I think about where God has brought me from since childhood to today, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And that's what it means to fear him. That makes sense? Yeah, that's what you do. Let me take the online one first, and then I come back. Yes?
Paige says, my dad spanked me. I feared him. He punished me because I had done wrong. I deserved my spanking. God is like that. He will set you right, sometimes harshly. That is love. I fear God. I do not want to disappoint him, and I know he will judge me. I try to be better and honor and please him.
Well, see, I understand. Who is this?
Paige.
Paige? Mm-hmm. Paige. I understand Paige been taught that way. Loving God will not happen with your effort. You know, you can't love God on your own. What you have to do is die away from one God, which is Satan. And then when you die, then he'll bring you to him. He'll draw you in. And then you will love him with his love. Because as human beings, we don't have love to love God with. We either have the nature of Satan, and when you're born again, you return to your original nature of God, and that nature is love. So you're living in love in that way. You can't love God by that way, you know, because you're putting your will into it, and your will is Satan's will. We don't even have our own will. It's Satan's will. So you can't will that to be. But I know we've been taught, a lot of folks have been taught that, oh, just love the Lord, don't hurt him, don't do this, just be, you know, and so you try to do that, not realizing of yourself you can do nothing. You just have to see that you're wrong, and God will do the rest. Because it's all spiritual. Of ourselves, we know nothing, and of ourselves, we do nothing. We can do nothing. And so when you do mess up, because you think that way, now you're going to judge yourself for messing up. You're going to make yourself feel guilty. Because, oh my God, I love the Lord, I'm so sorry, Lord. And you make yourself feel, God already know what we're going to do, and yet he loves us. That's fearing God. He already know that when we say we're not going to do anything wrong, he already know we're lying. He and Jesus up there having coffee from Coffee Bean, and they're like, look at that person saying they're not going to do that anymore. They start cracking up because they know you're lying. You might not know you're lying because you really want to do the right thing, but the moment you say, I'm not going to do it again, you're on your way to doing it. Even when you fight against it, you're right there about to do it, and you just fight. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And the more you say it, you're into it. And then once you're into it, now you judge yourself. So he loves us in spite of all that. We have to die from our ego, and the way you die is to see that you have it. That's it. Pray, read some scriptures a little bit, and watch it. And have no opinion about it, and then you shall die. You can't make this happen on your own. Read the Bible is not going to do it. Saying you're going to do it is not going to do it. But just recognizing that you're wrong that would do it. You got to totally let go. Yes.
I don't see the purpose in saying I fear God if the meaning is I greatly appreciate him.
Yes.
Because when I fear my Father, I fear punishment. And I think it's important that we know that God does not punish us, that is Satan. Those thoughts are lies.
Well, when Jesus said the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, something like that. Well, what he means is that you can recognize what God, that he's with you and what he's done for you, and that he has patience with you and he has love. It's not like a fear like the English word fear. It's not that at all. It doesn't mean what the word fear means. And I think when you hear that word fear, you associate it with the meaning, the English word fear. Yeah.
That kind of sounds like a transgender explanation.
In what way? So when Jesus
Well,
said
yes,
that he
I'm a
sounded
man.
like a
Yes, I was
transgender to
born
you?
a man. And yes, that word means these body parts, but I'm a woman.
I don't get that.
My point is, you're describing over and over what it means to greatly appreciate, right? And then we call it fear. Why don't we just call it greatly appreciation?
Well, I don't know. You got to ask Jesus why he called it that. But again, it's a right word. It just doesn't mean what you think that it means.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the right word, but it doesn't mean what we've been taught intellectually that it means. So I don't know about the transgender thing.
Because we should have
You
no
better-
fear,
You better watch out. It's going to
no
lighten.
worry, and no doubt, right?
I'm sorry?
We should have no fear, no worry, and no doubt.
Again, it doesn't mean that though.
Okay.
It's a great appreciation. And even the word appreciation doesn't describe what I'm talking about. That's a limited word. I had a guy call my show this week, and he said that, because I had asked him to do the prayer for 5 days and call me back. And he said he did it, and right away he could see from within. And it was like amazing. And he said, words cannot describe what I'm talking about. And he's absolutely right. Words cannot describe the things of God. It really can't. That's why the only thing that a person can do is point you to it, toward it, because words are deceiving. It'll make you think one thing that's not, and it's not that way. And so that's why you probably feel that way about the word fear, because it does not describe what we're talking about. You have to this guy even said you got to see it. And that's what it is. You got to see it by his light. So, whatever, Mark. Just go back to your condo and be quiet.
I just think it's a setup.
Words are set up, yes.
It's a setup because we're saying, fear God. Fear God.
And
But we're also
Satan
saying
tell
God
you
is your
what it
Father.
means.
And we're also saying God does not punish you. And we're also saying, so I think it's, I don't know, maybe it was much more applicable in biblical times or in
Right.
a translation or something. But I just think it's a bit of a setup, that's all.
Well, what you should do when you hear certain words like that, don't hold on to those words. Let them go in one ear and out the other one. And that way, they can't confuse you. Don't hold on to anything.